Good morning, everyone. I'm not sure if everybody can hear me. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our weekly webinar hosted by HR Talk and myself, Tidi Mweleso. Today's webinar is a very, very interesting webinar, I must say, more especially for both the employer and the employee. So in today's webinar, we're going to be focusing on what is UIF, who can pay for UIF, or who can claim for UIF, how much and how often. The very important one that we're also going to go through is the declarations. To think about it, we went through COVID-19 and it was so hard for some of the employees to receive their TERS money. Reason being, their employers did not pay for declarations. Yes, the employers could have been paid for the MP201s, but if you do not pay for declarations, it's going to be so hard for your employees to claim a Department of Labor. We're also going to focus on the claiming part of it. What document is needed and when can you claim for UIF? The other one that we're going to be focusing on as well is the challenges faced when claiming. Please make sure that you have correct documents. I'm going to repeat that. Please make sure that you have correct documents. The reason why I'm stressing on that, it's because my clients will forever come to me and say, but then I just went to Department of Labor and Department of Labor told me that I don't have this, I don't have that. I always stress this to my clients. Make sure that when you go down to Department of Labor, you have correct documents. Moving along. UIF consists out of two acts. The first one is Unemployment Insurance Act. This deals with the setup and the running of funds. This is where you're going to be claiming and receiving the benefits. All of this are dealt by Department of Labor. The second act, it deals with the collections of the contributions for both the employer and the employee. In this act, we're also going to make you understand what's a remuneration. The important one that I always tell my client is the declaration. In this act, we're also going to focus on the declarations. All of these elements are dealt by SARS. Contributions are based on remunerations as defined in the 4th Schedule of Income Tax Act. This excludes the independent contractors, pensions, retrenchment pay, and commissions. 1% employee and 1% employer up to the upper earnings limit of 17,712 per month. So what this means is the limit that you can only pay for UIF is up until 17,712. Hypothetically speaking, you earning 18,000. They are not going to deduct from that 18. They're not going to take 1% from that 18,000. They're only going to take 1% from 17,712, which is going to be, if you're earning 18,000, you're not going to pay 1% of 18,000, but still you're going to pay 177.12 cents. But if it happens that you're earning 6,500, they are going to deduct 1% from that 16,500. If, of course, you're earning 8,000, they're still going to deduct 1% from that 8,000. But if you're getting paid 60,000, they're only going to take from 17,712 per month. That's the maximum of the UIF. Bear in mind that we have I can see that there's no audio here. Can everybody hear me? Thank you very much. Bear in mind that we have employees that are included in paying for UIF and those that are excluded as well. As soon as you have employers that are working under you more than 24 hours, you need to deduct UIF from them. Also, foreigners should pay for the UIF. Since from 2017, learners also are included in paying for UIF. Hypothetically speaking, you have a restaurant and you normally take scholars during school holidays. They have that permanent contract that when school closed, they need to come to your restaurant and work. Because they are working for you more than 24 hours, you should deduct UIF from them. Those that are not included are the sole traders, also known as sole props. The employers that are also not included are those who are working under a given time frame. For example, the contractors or the one that are working under contract. Declarations. Please make sure as an employer you submit your payment before the 7th of every month, before the 7th day of every month. If you have employers that do not qualify for PAYE, you can directly pay a Department of Labor. But if you have employees that qualify for PAYE, you need to make sure that you submit their correct name, the correct ID number, their correct monthly remunerations, as well as if there's any changes within their name, the second name or the first name, make sure that your database is always correct before submitting those declarations. So when you submit your declarations, everything is correct before the 7th day of the month. All of this are called declarations. Some employees will ask, but then what does declaration actually mean? So you as an employer, you'll be deducting 1% from your employees. That money is not going to come to you as the employer. You're going to take that money and you're going to give it to SARS as the declarations. That's where the UIF is going to build the history for the contributors, so that it's going to be able, if they have to claim a Department of Labor, they're going to be able to claim for whatever they want to claim at Department of Labor. There are employers that are included in paying in claiming, and also those that are not included in claiming. The employers that can claim is those that their employment was terminated without their own choice. For example, dismissal, retrenchment, illness, or death. Yes, you can also claim for maternity leave and paternity leave. Bear in mind, if you've decided that, you know what, I don't want to work no more, I want to take early retirement, or I just want to resign, you cannot go down to Department of Labor and claim. Yes, you can get your money from your organization, but you cannot go down to Department of Labor and claim. Reason being, if you go down to Department of Labor and tell them, but I need to claim, they're going to look at you, but you said that you need money, but you decided to resign at work. So they're not going to give you that money. It's their rules at Department of Labor. As soon as you decide to take early retirement or you resign, you are not going to be able to claim. We have codes here that we normally use when we're claiming for UIF. Before I'm going to use those codes, can everybody please check there, which is number 3, the code 3. Can you see it says retired? There's no claim for that because you chose to do that. So you're not going to get money from Department of Labor. Moving along when it comes to the codes. I'm just going to use code 9 as an example because that's the code that I normally use with my clients, maternity. So this code is very important. Make sure that when you apply for your maternity or you apply for your illness, or it happened that you got retrenched, make sure that you have the correct code on your UR19. There are documents that are needed for you to claim for your UIF. So because I said to you guys, I'm going to use the maternity leave, the maternity claim. So documents that are needed in the maternity is the UR19, salary schedule, UI 2.7, birth certificate of the child when the child is born, ID number, copy of your ID, not ID number, copy of your ID, and UI 2.8, which is the bank statement, as well as the medical certificate. I'm going to go through each and every one of them. This is how our UR19 looks like. Of course, here it's going to be the company's personal details and then your personal details as well. The important part that I always stress on here is here on the surname, initials, ID number, and so forth. So you're going to put your surname and your initials here. Make sure that on your UR19, you put the correct ID number and the money that you are receiving as cross, not after deduction. Before deduction, that's where the UR19, that's the money that they need and the hours that you're working per month. Over here, it's the time you started working within the company and when you got terminated. And then of course here, like I've stressed on the code, make sure that you have the correct code. For example, here they just, this is my demo, but because I've told you that we're going to use code 9. So here we're going to write 9. The reason why I'm stressing that you need to have the correct code, if you're applying online, they're going to decline your applications. Let's say now you decided to apply online. You're waiting for your money, and then 4 months down the line, they tell you you're waiting for your money. 4 months down the line, they're telling you that no, your application has been declined. Why? Because you did not put the correct code. I always tell my client, or I always use the example that I always go through when I'm working with my client. So there's this client of mine that worked within the organization from 2000. She went on maternity leave in 2006, if I'm not wrong. She never gave the code. And then she served her 4 months period, and then she went to work again. And then she also went to maternity leave. She took a maternity leave in 2010. She never gave code to Department of Labor. She carried on up, she took her 4 months period, and then she carried on again. So now last year, no, it was not last year, it was early this year, the company decided to shut down. Now she needs to go down to Department of Labor and claim for her UIF. When she goes down to Department of Labor, they're telling her, yes, we can see that you've been contributing from 2000 up until today, but there's an open period. I don't know how the system was working back in 2006. I was so young, I don't know. But I know that now, if you do not give the code, it's either if you go down to Department of Labor, they're going to tell you that your application is not going to be successful. Please go back and put on your code. Or if you apply online, they're just going to decline it. So I don't know how the system was working back in 2006 or back in 2010 that you could be able to receive money from Department of Labor, but still you did not provide the code. Make sure that your code is correct and make sure that you have the correct start of the time you started working as well as your termination date. Moving along. Remember, I said that you also need the salary schedule. Make sure that your salary schedule, the ID number on the salary schedule, your name and the initial number, the UI reference number and the company name, as well as the period service is correct. It's more the same as the one on the UR19. Because if the UR19 gives us the, let me just use the ID for example. If your ID number on UR19 start with 767, but then your salary schedule is 6s, that's going to be a clash on its own, because now they're going to say, how are we going to help you while your UR19 does not correspond with your salary schedule? So on the salary schedule, this is how it normally works. Yes, you could have started working within the organization from 2002. You're not supposed to provide the information from 2002. They just need 5 years to 6 years back. So this client, she just included her monthly remunerations from 2018 up until she got terminated. Make sure that everything on your UR19 is correct, is the same as the one on the salary schedule. Of course, here I'm just going to explain the first one. You're going to see if you're the contributor, then you're going to include yes. And then you're going to include as well the hours worked monthly. Remember, it should be the same as the one on the UR19. And then you're gonna put your monthly remuneration for 2018, 2019, 2021, going to the year you got terminated. We also need UI 2.7. UI 2.7 is only for the maternity leave. This is how UI 2.7 works. Of course, here you're gonna include all of your details. And then from here, can you see if, let's say you got terminated from the 30th of June, 2022. Here, you're gonna write the 1st of July, 2022, and you want to put the last day of the July, which is the 31st of July, 2022. You're going to do the very same one on August, which is the 1st of August, 2022, and the last day of August. It's just gonna move there for your 4-month period. And when you go down here, can you see it says the 1st of the 11th, 2022. But here it should write the 30th. Because you're only going back to work on the 30th, we're gonna write it here when you return back to work. Here, sorry about that. So here, we're just gonna include the day before you go back to your work. Move. Of course, here you're going to put the company stamp, sorry about that, and your employer will sign and put the date as well. This is UI 2.8. It's not clear on my side. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna share something that's gonna make you guys see how does UI 2.8 looks like. Okay, this is how UI 2.8 looks like. Bear in mind that UI 2.8, it has nothing to do with the employer nor the employee. The only thing that the employer needs to do is go down to their bank and then give them so that they'll be able to fill this. As you can see here is the name of the account holder. Of course, that's your name, your ID number, the name of the financial institution, and all of that. Make sure that your bank fills this for you, and then they also put the bank stamp, so that when you go down to Department of Labor to claim, all your documentations are correct. Claiming part. Bear in mind that there are types of benefit that you can claim online and those that you cannot claim online. The first one that you can claim online is unemployment, maternity, adoption, and illness. And the followings are not supposed to be claimed online. Is the death benefit, the paternity. I always tell my client, if you really need the money, please make sure you go down to Department of Labor and apply. I'm going to repeat that. If you really need money from Department of Labor, do not apply online. Please take all your documents and go down to Department of Labor and claim. The reason why I'm saying that, I had this one client of mine in 2021. She didn't want to apply online. She didn't want to apply to Department of Labor. She was like, I don't want to go to Department of Labor because that line is too much. I was like, okay, that's fine, that's fine. But what we're going to do, we're going to apply online and everything is going to be correct. And everything was correct and successful. The application went through. Now we're waiting on the status. The status was showing 1 month it went where it's supposed to go. But then I think it was on the 4th month. And remember, the 4th month, she was supposed to be got paid already. But now the status said it's with the assessor. And she's asking me, but then I'm still waiting for my payment. What's going on? I'm like, when we checked the status online, the status said that it's with the assessor. Yes, we did call the Department of Labor, it's call center. When we phoned them and asked them, can you tell us why is this thing been sitting with the department, with the assessor for this long? That lady just told us that there's nothing we can do. You guys just have to wait for that status to change. That's when the payment will be released. Mind you, she went on maternity leave in November 2021. Yet last year, in September, she did not receive no money. Up until in October, we're like, you know what? Please take your documentations and go down to Department of Labor and reapply. And I kid you not, beginning of this year, she phoned me and she's like, TD, you know, I received my money. Hence, I always tell my clients, please make sure, whether the line is too long or whatsoever, please make sure that you go down to Department of Labor to apply. I don't know how does the system work. I really don't know how does the system work. Why when you apply online, it takes so much time than when you go down to Department of Labor. And bear in mind, it's not like when you go down to Department of Labor, when you apply this month, next month you get your money, the following month you get the money. It could happen that when you apply this month, you're not going to get your money the very first month, but you can get your money the second month, or you can get your money the very first month, the second month you don't get the money. I don't know how does the system work, because I wouldn't want to lie to my client and say, this is why. I really do not know how does the system work at Department of Labor. The challenges that we normally go through is the declarations missing. This part is very painful. Please make sure as an employer, you do right by your employees and you pay your declarations. Because my clients always come to me and say, but then I went down to Department of Labor and say, I did not contribute. And she'll be showing me that, you know what, yes, I did apply. Yes, I did. There was a deduction for UIF, but why am I not getting UIF? Yes, your employer can deduct from you. But if they do not pay for the declarations, you are not going to receive that UIF. Please do good by your employees and pay your declarations. That's what I always highlight with my client. Like, if you're an employer, please make sure that you pay your declarations, so that your employees are not gonna face hard time. The challenges that we also go through is the UI-19 and the salary schedule. When the UI-19 is not correct, as well as the salary schedule, they will automatically tell you, or the system will decline. That's number one. If you go down to Department of Labor, they just tell you that, listen, your UI-19 and your salary schedule are not the same. Please make sure that your UI-19 and the salary schedule are the same. In that way, you're not going to face some challenges. I always tell my client, please make sure whatever that you put on the salary schedule is the same as what you put on the UI-19. The other challenge that we normally go through is the delay process in the declarations. This one is so painful, and I always stress on it. As an employer, make sure that your declaration is up to date. Because as soon as your employee gets terminated, because they need money, everybody needs money, they're going to run straight to Department of Labor to claim. And when they get down to Department of Labor, they don't see, or there's some delay, say that you're still paying, but then there is no proof that you pay. I always tell my clients, please make sure, this is one thing that I stress of, hence I call it a very important topic. Please make sure that you're paying for declaration, because in 2020, I went through the most with my clients, that they will go down to Department of Labor. Okay, people couldn't go down to Department of Labor because of what? COVID-19. People sat home with no money, thinking that they're still gonna get paid because they know that the UIF has been deducted from them. Please do good to your clients or your employees and pay your declarations. The fourth one as well is, please make sure when you're applying, for example, maternity, make sure that you have relevant documents, such as the birth certificate. That's the important one. You can only apply for maternity when the child is born. You cannot go down to Department of Labor and say, I want to apply for maternity, but then the child is not born. The reason why you're applying for maternity because the child is born. Or yes, let's hypothetically speaking, the child is born, but you did not go down to Home Affairs to apply for birth certificate. Then you go down to Department of Labor, say, I could not be able to apply for Home Affairs because the line was very long. They're not even going to entertain you. They're just going to tell you, okay, ma'am, well and good. Please go and get the birth certificate so that we're going to be able to process the claim. That goes as well with the death. If you're going to be claiming for the death, please make sure you have death certificate. Bear in mind that everything at Department of Labor does not have time frame. Remember, I said before that you could get paid this month and the next month you could not get paid, and get paid. Or when you apply online, it can take like 8 months without getting paid. There is no given time for Department of Labor. Challenges that we face when we apply in online is registering new file profile and verifications code. Yes, everything could go well. Everything could go well, trust me. But then now we're going to wait for verifications code. We don't know now. We've been trying to reinstall, but now we're waiting for the verifications code and it's so very hard to get it. The other one that is very, very annoying, it's their call center. It's not operational. For example, you'll be waiting on the call for an hour, thinking that, okay, now I'm going to get through. When you speak with the consultant, they don't even know what you're talking about. They're going to make you feel that you don't even know what you're talking about. Because I remember one time I was asking this, because I was still new within the UIF department. I was asking this UIF call center person that, do we have to include the total package or the cross or the cross? She couldn't understand what I'm talking about. She's like, include whatever that you think is best. I'm like, but you are at the call center. You should be helping me with this. Or the other one that it's way funny with the call center. You'll be waiting for an hour, thinking, okay, now I'm gonna get help. As soon as it's your turn, you hear the tone that say, please rate the following. You did not even say hi. You did not even get to express what why you phone. You're just going straight to the rating options. Last but not least is the system that's always offline. Hence, I always tell my clients, please make sure that if you need to claim for anything regarding Department of Labor, you go down to their offices, despite the line or whatsoever. Please make sure that you go down to Department of Labor and claim. This is how the UIF claiming and challenges that we face going about. It was a very short and sweet, I best believe, webinar. If there's any questions, we still have time. You can ask me, even if it's regarding this webinar that I just did now, you can ask me, or if you have your own questions, please feel free to ask. You can type it on our chat or just raise up your hand. We'll allow you to speak.
Hi, Terry. So we've got a few questions. Let's start off with Melanie. Melanie, I'm going to put you on to ask a question.
Hi, Melanie. No, at that one, because they have to, it's the must, then they're going to be able to claim for the UIF. It's not that it's not their choice. I don't know how to put it, but if it's time for them to retire because of the age, they need to just retire and they can go down to Department of Labor and claim. Mm. Sharps, can you please help me? Sharps?
Hi, yeah, sorry about that. Okay, so the next one is Colleen. Colleen, you can ask your question.
If you go. If I check here on Colleen, I think you're asking if you go, because I am I cannot get your question here. Sharps, can you please allow, is it Colin to speak? Because I cannot understand the question. Sharps? Sharps? Sharps,
Yes. Next
can you
question.
can you please allow?
Allow.
No, I just
For the
want
next
to
one.
keep
Okay, Darren Campbell. You can ask your question, Darren.
Darren, the one that you're going to put on the UR19 is the last one of the termination date. Let's say for example, your employer was getting paid 13,000 last month, and then they got terminated. Okay, let me just say in Jan, they got 13,000. And in Feb, they got 14,000. You're going to put the last one on the UR19 as well as the salary schedule. If I don't know if that makes sense. Sharps, the next one. Sharps.
Hello, it's
The
Colleen.
next one.
Yes, Colleen, you can speak.
Yeah, I didn't actually ask a question. I was just giving information because I am in a process to claiming. And
Yes.
what they told me is that if you go to the center itself, they can manually push your payment. If you do it online, you have to wait every 28 days. You can only claim. So if you got your payment, let's say on the 1st, only on the 28th, you can now submit for continuation of funds.
Yes.
So it was just
definitely.
for information, yeah.
Yes, because that's what, remember, I think when we are going through, that's what I also told you guys, that only after 8 months, that's when we came to a conclusion with my client that, you know what, just go down to Department of Labor. And then she phoned this year and she's like, I got my payment.
Yeah.
Yes,
So that's
definitely.
better.
Definitely. Thank you very much.
Okay, pleasure. Thanks.
Thank you. Next one, Sharps.
Okay, Chantal Botha.
You can come to our company, which is UIF. You saw the details, or just put your email on uif@hrtalk.co.za. We'll be able to assist you with that because our company also helps with the UIF filing as well.
Okay, because our company is an accounting firm and we're just looking
Yes.
for someone to assist us with registering our clients on U-filing.
We can do that, most definitely. We can do that.
Okay, so it's at HR Talk outsourcing.
Yes, it's uif@hrtalk.co.za.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, cool.
Okay, the next one we have is Darren Campbell.
We have different codes. We have different codes on the UR19. I only use the maternity one. We have like 19 codes. There is one for short term or the reduced time. There is that code and you're just gonna put it on the UR19 and you're gonna be able to then claim. There is like 19 codes if I'm not wrong. There was 17 and then they added others so that there could be more claiming codes as well. It's not only maternity leave, but there is one for reduce working hours as well.
Thank you.
No problem. Next one,
The
Charles.
next one is Karen Language.
Definitely. Yes, you can. More especially if we're doing your payroll as well. You can submit with our payroll. What's this? If I'm not sure if I'm answering well, or maybe I'll allow you to speak. Can you allow her to speak or him to speak, please, Sharps? No, the one of the UR19, sorry, the one of the UR19.
So the next one is Heather Welch.
I don't know if I was able to answer that question. Just communicate with me there. I don't want to say your name incorrect. Sharps, help me with the name, please.
Okay, so it's Heather Welch.
Yes.
Hi, it's Heather.
Yes.
Hi, I just have a question. If I submit my UR19 declarations monthly through the Simple Pay payroll program, do I still need to declare them through the U-filing? Or is it sufficient just doing the declarations through Simple Pay?
No, it's fine. As soon as you are able to pay, so that when you go down to Department of Labor, you have proof of payment, then it's fine.
But the UR19 declarations, they are submitted correctly through Simple Pay, and I get a reply back to say that there were no errors. And I pay through SARS.
Yes.
UR19 declarations are incorrect. I don't need to do another submission on U-filing.
No, there's no need. There's no need. No, there's really no need. There's no need.
Okay, all right, no, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Sharps, the next one.
Right, Roberta, I don't know if this is a question or a comment. You can ask.
No, remember if it says the end of the contract. Let me just hear. Wait.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I was advised by HR Talk that when you have retirement that you should use UIF code 5 as end of contract because if it's in the contract, it's the end of contract, then they can claim. So I successfully terminated 2 of my employees as an end of contract, and they did proceed to claim from the UIF. So I didn't use what is retirement, because you said retirement, if you use code 3, then they won't be able to claim. So I was just advising. Someone else asked if what code should you use for retirement.
The code says for the retirement, was it code 5? Or it was
I use code 5. My employee was 65, and on the contract it states that if in our company 65 is retirement age. So what I did when I filled in the UI 19, I filled in code 5 as an
end of contract. Yes, it does help. But then sometimes if it's the age 65 and you say retirement, if you go down to Department of Labor and show them, that's why I say you need to go down to, because online is not going to pick that. If you go down to Department of Labor and show them that it's for the age of 65, they're going to pick up, okay, cool, but then there's no way that this person could work. But other companies can also, you can also use as the end of contract, it's still fine as well. Sharp, the next one.
Sure. The next one is Lynette Millen.
Yes, we're going to receive, I think Sharps is after the second day, that's where everybody that had logged in will be able to receive the slides and the recording, right?
Yes, correct. I'll send it through.
Okay, cool. The next one, Sharps. Next one, Sharps.
Hi, TV. Sorry about that. The next one is Eloise Snyder.
Hi there. I just wanted to find out. So we have a few, or a few employees have come to us that said that there's a few missing gaps on their for the declarations on their profiles. How can we fix that? So money what we did pay via SASH, but the person doing our payroll didn't send it out for some months. So it's a bit of a net one, slip one situation.
But on your side, you guys have paid.
We have paid.
You have proof of that.
It's just that it's just that the declarations on the it shows blank in that.
Are not recorded.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, you have to go down to SARS and show them that you did pay, or you can go down to Department of Labor to show that please update my system because we did claim, so that they could be able to update the system. If you have proof of every payment, then you just submit to Department of Labor and SARS so that they could be able to change the system.
But the declaration, the report that you get sent out by the 7th.
Yes, definitely.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you. The next one, Sharps. The next one, Sharps. Sharps. Let me just check here. I think it's is it Michael? I'll allow you to speak. If I could be able to do it on my side. You can speak. Okay, if I could see here, it says if an employee returns to work early from maternity leave, the company resumes payment salary. So the employer needs to stop. No, you're not supposed to stop your claim because that one, remember on your UR19, it says that you got terminated from, let's say from Jan to April, you still have to get that money. Go down to Department of Labor and get money because most of the people always do that. Let's say, for example, the company is not giving you anything when you go down to Department of Labor. But you told them that, you know what, I can only be able to serve my 2 months, but I'm still gonna come back. But when you go down to Department of Labor, you're still gonna receive the payment as well. I'm gonna allow, is it Lynette to speak? Yes, you need to send it, but then if it does on the system ask you if you don't have, I think it's Lynette, if it on the system it does ask that you don't have, what's this? If you it says that you need, because I'm not really sure about your what's this MP 201s, but as far as I know, if you pay via SARS, you need to also send the MP 201s because that goes with the firm as well. So you need to submit everything on via SARS. But I'll need to find out from this because this one has to do with payroll. Then I'll get back to you. Is it Lynette? Shabs.
Yes, sorry about that. I'm back. So Lynette Million, okay.
We're done with that one.
All right.
The next one is asking for the codes. You'll get the codes on the slides that Shabs will be sending to you guys in the next 2 days or the third day, right, Shabs?
Correct. You should be able to send that through.
Okay, cool.
We've got another question from Darren Campbell.
Mm-hmm. The only thing that you include on your UR19 is cross. If the cross is 18,000, everything that has to do after that, it's not supposed to be because they just need the cross money from the Department of Labor.
Thank you.
The next one, Charles.
The next one is Tareen Reddy.
Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. Good, thanks. So we just want to know in terms of sending through our submissions to the Department of Labor and obtaining some positive feedback from them, because we usually submit documents to them and then the process of feedback is kind of tedious in terms of progressions of our submissions. So sometimes it could take weeks, months, not exaggerating when we say even years. So we just like to know, Yes, so we just like to know, like in terms of you, is there a loophole into communicating with them or any other way in terms of getting feedback, or is it just unfortunate that we just have to do constant follow-ups? And
I think I did go through that via our challenges. That's the challenges that we go through with Department of Labor. There is no time frame. You could be lucky that everything got processed, but then other people could wait like for 2 years or 3 years. So we just have to follow up. I really don't know how their system really works. You could have done everything correct. Your will be correct, but because them on their side, I don't know how they work. You just have to follow up with Department of Labor. That's the answer that I could possibly have for you.
thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. Next one, Sharps.
So the last one is good, Yonke.
Good day. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you. We've got an employee that want to resign, but because if you resign, you will not be able to claim his UIF. But we
Yes.
also don't need his services anymore because that position, we are taking it away. So
Yes.
Labor Department said we can do a mutual agreement, but will you be able still to claim his UIF if he sign a mutual agreement?
You know, sometimes it could work on your disadvantage and advantage as well. But if that's the case, just use the different code. I can't remember the name of the person I was talking to. That employer was 65 years old and then she had to resign. Or she had to resign. Just use the next code. Don't have the mutual agreement because sometimes it could work on your disadvantage. Just say that it's the end of the contract. That's it. Just put it as the end of the contract.
Okay. Thank you
Yes.
very much.
Okay, no problem. Any questions?
And that's it in the Q&A. If there is any more questions, ladies and gentlemen, you can put your hand up.
Okay, it looks like everybody is happy with our today's presentation. It was an interesting one, I must say. Thank you very much, Darren. I think this is about it. Until we meet again, guys, enjoy your rest of the day. Thank you. Bye.